Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
It can be overwhelming, can't it? And the recent conflict in the Middle East has exposed many of us to shocking and disturbing images we're seeing on social media. Just watching the commercial news on television is hard enough.
Goodness.
Some schools have advised parents to delete the social media apps to protect their children from the trauma. We're hearing stories of Hamas threatening to upload videos of hostages pleading for their lives, etc. You do not want your children, let alone yourselves, seeing that. What's the best way to cope with this overwhelming amount of graphic content? To help us navigate, here is clinical psychologist Jo Lamble. Hi, Jo.
Good morning, guys.
What do we do? What do we do? Because in this day and age, we can't control necessarily the imagery we're going to be seeing.
No, and this is one time where we've got to attempt to, because, as you say, it's distressing enough for adults to see some of these images or to even think about them, let alone for our young minds. And this is why, we want to work always, especially with our teens, who are the most likely ones to be on social media, to work with them to navigate social media. So to say, if you're just saying constantly, get off social media, get off your phones, then that starts to have no effect. But if you help them say, this is the way you can connect with your friends and have some fun, and that's good, but there are certain times in life where it is not good to be on social media, and this is one of them. So you can then point, see how there's a point of difference. And so then you're just explaining to them that they may want to be informed. They may want to know, okay, what is it? Something's happening that we shouldn't see, so therefore I want to see it. But again, as their parents, you just want to say some things can't be unseen. And you need to trust us as your parents. That's our job, to try and keep you safe, and that's what the schools are trying to do too, to saying just for a little while, let's have a break as much as we can from social media and, as you say, and from television news, and just for the moment, so you don't have to try and unsee something.
And you kind of got to be parent over shoulder a bit, which has always been sneered at. A lot of people say, parent over shoulder. But at this time, I've found, my youngest is 21, but even still, I'm just very aware of what he's looking at. I go, what are you looking at now, mate? What wormhole are you going down? And all that sort of stuff. So I find just engaging in that.
Oh, as a general principle, Jonesy, that's exactly right. So you don't have to be over their shoulder the whole time, but you just want to show interest. What do you like looking at? Show me, let them educate. Any time our teenagers can educate us about something they've learned online, that's a great day, And then other times we're teaching them how to critique what they're seeing on social media. So instead of, as I said, a blanket rule, get off that rubbish, get off your screens, you want to just be a bit more involved to understand what they're looking at, so that at times like this you can say, okay, now I'm really pulling the parent rank here, and I'm for your safety. This is what we're going to do for a short time.
What about as adults, Jo? I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about, you want to bear witness. You don't want to look away from what the world is going through right now. But on the other hand, our primitive brains aren't designed, are they, to take on these giant catastrophes? How do we protect ourselves but still acknowledge the pain of others?
Yeah, exactly. I think a client said it to me really well yesterday. She said, look, I'm happy to be informed, but I don't want to be immersed in it. And I thought that was a really good way. We do need to understand what's going on in this tragedy and this terrorism, but we don't need to be immersed in it. And so getting sort of the headline ideas and then using that as a way to discuss respect and kindness and gratitude and with our children, with each other, and being very aware, bringing it back to the kids a bit too, is even when parents and adults are talking amongst themselves about it, you've got to just be careful what ears are listening. Because, again, I've heard so many stories in the last couple of days of children just having trouble falling asleep because they said, well, we heard you talk about this, or why did those people leave? This was one yesterday, a young child saying, why did the neighbour leave flowers outside our door? And that was because it was a Jewish family and some lovely neighbours had left some flowers saying, thinking of you. But that had really upset the child because they didn't understand.
Sure.
So we have to be very aware at this time of, yes, as you say, Amanda, we want to bear witness in that we want to acknowledge and have empathy for what's going on, but we also need to protect ourselves, because if we're up all night, or we're having, terrible scenes in our minds playing over and over again, that is not helping anyone. And
inadvertently, I got off social media where we used to be on Twitter, now X, and the password, I don't know what the password to our X account is.
So your ineptitude is saving you.
So it's blissfully, it really is quite refreshing not being on Twitter anymore. I really like that. It's cleared my head. Jo, it's always great to talk to you. You can purchase Jo's book, The New Teenage, from all good bookstores, by the way. Jo Lamble, thank you.
Thanks, guys.